The kingdom of Ashlight was a cold land of tall mountains and ancient stone towers, ruled by kings who loved power more than peace. Every winter seemed longer than the last, and every heart in the kingdom carried a shadow. Even the royal castle, proud and high upon the cliffs, felt heavy with secrets. In this solemn land lived Lady Alara Windfell, the eldest daughter of House Windfell. She was known throughout the kingdom not for beauty in the way bards sang, but for her soft, round figure, her gentle nature, and her quiet strength. Her eyes held the calm of a deep lake, and her smile, though rare, warmed anyone who saw it. But Ashlight was a place where kindness was often ignored, and many nobles whispered behind her back, calling her unworthy of the royal crown. Still, she was chosen to marry Prince Kalen, the heir to the throne. The marriage was arranged to bring peace between their houses and to stabilize the kingdom during a time of political tension. Alara hoped in her private heart that perhaps this union would give her a chance to prove herself. Maybe she could find respect and or even affection round within the palace walls. She always dreamed quietly, never boldly. She wished only to be accepted. The day of the wedding arrived with a pale sun and an icy wind. The grand cathedral of Ashlight was decorated with silver banners and tall candles that flickered like stars. Nobles filled the rows, whispering behind jeweled fans, their eyes sharp and eager for gossip. Music from soft flutes floated in the air, but even that could not hide the tension that clung to every stone. Alara walked down the long aisle in a white gown embroidered with moon thread. The dress hugged her soft shape with gentle beauty, and though her hands trembled slightly, she kept her chin lifted. She had spent the entire night reminding herself that she deserved this moment. She deserved to stand here just as much as any bride. At the altar waited Prince Kalen, tall, handsome, and proud, with cold gray eyes that rarely softened for anyone. He was the kind of man who believed in perfection and power, and he disliked anything that challenged those ideals. Alara knew he did not love her. She only hoped he could respect her enough to build a peaceful life. But as she reached him, she noticed something strange. His jaw was tight. His eyes shifted away from her. The entire hall grew unusually quiet, as if the air itself held its breath. Then Kalen stepped forward. "Alara Windfell," he said loudly, his voice echoing through the vast hall. "I cannot marry you." The word struck her like a thrown stone. Gasps filled the cathedral. The queen covered her mouth. Lords leaned forward in disbelief. Alara stood frozen, her heart pounding like a frantic drum. She could not understand. Not marry her? Why now? Why in front of everyone? Kalen continued, his voice growing sharper. "This union is a mistake. I will not join my future to someone who cannot stand beside me as a proper queen. This marriage brings no honor to Ashlight." Alara's breath caught. She saw the glances, the cruel smiles, the pity in some eyes. Every whisper she had heard throughout her life suddenly grew louder, crashing in her mind. She felt small, as though the walls were pressing in on her. Her chest tightened, her vision blurred. Shame, pain, and confusion twisted inside her like a storm. And then something happened, something no one expected. The ground beneath her feet trembled. Soft cracks spread across the marble floor, glowing faintly with silver light. The candles flickered. Wind rushed through the cathedral, though every door was closed. Alara's hidden magic, the ancient, moonborn power she never understood, awakened from her grief. She stumbled back, startled by the force that rose inside her chest. She tried to hold it down, but it pulsed like a heartbeat that was not entirely her own. Whispers filled the hall. "She is cursed. She is dangerous." No wonder the prince refused. Alara's throat tightened painfully. She wanted to shrink away, to disappear from every staring eye. She felt alone, exposed, humiliated. The magic inside her faded as quickly as it appeared, leaving her emptier than before. Then the torches slowly dimmed. The air grew cold, as if the night had seeped inside the cathedral. The nobles' whispers died one by one. Even the prince's proud expression fell into unease. From the deepest shadows near the grand pillars, a tall figure stepped forward. The sound of his boots against stone echoed through the silent hall. A black cloak trailed behind him like a slice of night, and his presence carried an ancient weight. It was Lord Valerius Dragor, the alpha vampire king of the Night Dominion, a neighboring realm feared for its creatures of darkness and its immortal ruler. He was said to be as old as forgotten kingdoms, as powerful as storms, and as mysterious as the moon itself. No one expected him to appear at a royal wedding. His eyes, crimson like glowing embers, rested on Ilara, not with pity, not with mockery, but with a quiet intensity that made even her shaking heart pause. He walked toward her, each step controlled, strong, and strangely respectful. "Lady Ilara," he said, his voice low and calm, yet filled with a depth that made the torches tremble. Ilara looked up, confused and frightened. She had never seen him before, only heard legends. Why was he here? Why was he looking at her like that, and as if she mattered? Valeria stopped in front of her, then slowly knelt. The entire cathedral erupted in shock. A vampire king kneeling? Before a rejected, humiliated bride? It was unthinkable. But he did it with steady grace, lowering himself as if she were royalty. "You stand alone before those who should have protected you," Valeria said. "But I see a woman of strength, a woman whose magic calls to the night itself." Ilara swallowed hard. I don't understand." "You do not need to," he replied softly. "You only need to choose." He lifted his hand toward her, palm up. "If you stay here, they will crush your spirit. If you walk with me, your story will no longer belong to those who mocked you." Ilara stared at his hand. Her heart pounded. Everyone watched, frozen between fear and disbelief. Even Kaelin looked stunned, uncertain whether to speak or hide. Inside her, pain twisted like a broken thread. She had nothing left in Ashlight. No dignity, no respect, no place to call home. Her dreams had been shattered before the entire kingdom. She could not face another day inside these walls, but the vampire king. He looked at her not with judgment, but with strange understanding. Ilara took a slow breath and placed her hand in his. A warm spark shot through her arm, surprising her. Valerius's eyes flickered with something she could not name, something ancient and searching. He rose, guiding her with gentle, steady strength. Gasps filled the hall as he led her down the aisle. No one dared stand in their path. The cathedral doors blew open on their own as cold night wind swept inside. Valerius wrapped his cloak around her to shield her from the freezing air. It was the first kindness she had felt in years. They crossed the threshold, leaving the shocked court behind. As they entered the forest beyond the city walls, the moon rose high and bright, silver like Ilara's trembling magic. She breathed in the cool air, sensing her life changing with every step. But then she heard it, a faint whisper. It came not from the forest, nor from Valerius, but from inside her mind. A voice, ancient and fierce, murmured, "Awaken." Ilara froze. Valerius felt it too. He turned sharply toward her, his crimson eyes narrowing. "Ilara," he said quietly, "there is something inside you, something older than any curse I have seen." She looked at him, fear rising again. "What does it want?" Valerius gazed deeper into her eyes. "I do not know," he said, "but we will face it together." Before she could respond, a sharp, cold wind cut across the path, as if something unseen had taken notice of her awakening magic. The trees rustled. The moon dimmed, and the voice inside her whispered again, louder this time. "Awaken, child of moonfire." Ilara clutched Valerius's arm, breath uneven. The vampire king tightened his hold protectively. The night around them shifted, as if watching, and deep within Ilara, something ancient opened its eyes. The forest at the border of Ashlight was dark and full of cold moonlight. Tall trees rose like pillars around Ilara and Valerius as they walked deeper into the night dominion. The wind whispered through the branches, but Ilara could still hear the strange voice inside her mind. It came and went like a fading memory, but every time it spoke, her chest tightened and her magic stirred. Valerius kept close beside her. Though he moved silently, she sensed the strength in every step he took. His presence felt like a shield, dark, steady, and impossible to move. Ilara did not know why a powerful king of the night had offered her a hand in the middle of her shame, but she felt safer with him than she ever had inside her own kingdom. When they reached the first silver bridge leading into the night dominion, Ilara stopped to catch her breath. The bridge shined faintly, as if woven from moonlight and mist. Below it, dark water flowed softly. Valerius stepped beside her. "You are tired," he said gently. "We can rest." Ilara looked up at him. "I'm fine. I only feel something strange inside me." The voice? Valerius asked. She nodded. It keeps calling to me, as if it wants me to remember something. Valerius looked toward the dark sky. Magic as old as yours often speaks in riddles. In time, it may reveal its purpose. Ilara pressed a hand to her chest. I do not know if that comforts me or frightens me. Both are natural, he replied. But you will not face it alone. His words warmed her more than the cloak around her shoulders. She lowered her gaze, grateful yet unsure how to respond. She was not used to kindness, especially not from someone like him, someone feared by countries and whispered about in old stories. They continued walking until the forest opened to a valley filled with soft, glowing lights. Floating lanterns drifted through the air like fireflies. Stone towers rose in the distance, carved with ancient runes. The Night Dominion looked nothing like the frightening land she had imagined. It was quiet, magical, and strangely peaceful. Ilara, Valerius said as they approached a large gate made of silver vines. You are safe here. She wanted to believe him. Inside the gate, guards bowed respectfully to Valerius and looked at Ilara with curiosity but no cruelty. It surprised her. Ashlight had always judged her first by appearance. But these beings of the night seemed to see something else. They entered the grand fortress, a structure built from black stone and moonlit crystal. The halls shimmered faintly, glowing with cool light. Ilara walked slowly, taking in every detail. This is your home now, Valerius said. For as long as you choose it. Ilara's heart squeezed. Thank you. Valerius gave a small nod, but Ilara noticed a hint of tension in his eyes. He looked tired, though he tried to hide it. Shadows clung to him like faint smoke, especially around his arms. When she reached out lightly to touch his sleeve, he flinched. Not from fear, but from pain. You are hurt, she said softly. He shook his head. Not hurt, only strained. What do you mean? Valerius looked away as if unsure whether to tell her. But then he spoke with quiet honesty. I carry a curse, Ilara. It has been with me for centuries. My soul is slowly splitting, like a stone cracking under pressure. If it breaks completely, I will lose myself. Ilara's breath caught. Lose yourself? How? I will become something without reason or heart. A creature of only instinct. I have fought it for years, but lately the curse grows stronger. Ilara stepped closer. Is there no cure? There may be, Valerius said slowly. But it requires a bond that matches my magic. A connection strong enough to hold my soul together. His crimson eyes softened. I did not expect to feel such a pull from you. Your magic reacts to mine, in a way I have not felt in centuries. Ilara's cheeks warmed. She looked down at her hands. I am not someone special. I do not even know how to control my magic. Valerius studied her carefully. You are more powerful than you know, and more important than you believe. Before she could answer, the voice inside her whispered again. Moonfire, you must awaken. Ilara closed her eyes, gripping her temple. The whisper was stronger this time. Ilara? Valerius stepped forward, concern filling his voice. I heard it again, she said, breathing hard. It wants something. I can feel it pulling at me. Valerius placed a steady hand near her back without touching. Let it pass. Do not fight it alone. Hours later, inside the safety of a moonlit chamber given to her, Ilara sat by the window. She watched the floating lights drift outside like small stars. She felt calm for the first time in days, yet her heart still carried a weight she could not name. What was the voice? Why had Valerius helped her? Why did her magic feel alive beside him? As she rested, a soft knock sounded on the door. May I enter? Valerius asked from outside. Yes, she said quietly. He stepped inside carrying a small silver mirror. This belonged to my mother. It reacts to ancient magic. I thought it might help you understand your power. Ilara hesitated but took the mirror. When she looked into it, she did not see her reflection. Instead, she saw a glowing figure, tall, graceful, with eyes like white fire. A woman made of moonlight. Ilara gasped and almost dropped the mirror. Who is that? Valerius took the mirror gently from her hands. The lunar guardian, an ancient spirit said to bless certain bloodlines. If she is connected to you, then your magic may be older than any kingdom. Ilara stared at him. Why would such a spirit be in me? Valerius held her gaze. Because you were never ordinary. The words made her chest tighten again, but this time in a strangely warm way. She rarely felt seen, but Valerius looked at her as if he saw everything she was, and even the parts she tried to hide. Before she could speak, loud footsteps echoed down the hall. A guard burst in. My king, Messengers bring news from Ashlight. Valerius's expression hardened. Speak. The Royal Council blames Lady Alara for the collapse of the wedding. They say her magic is dangerous. They plan to invade our border to take her back. Alara froze. Take me back? For what? To control you, Valerius said darkly. Or to silence you. Alara sat down, her hands trembling. I never wanted harm. I did nothing wrong. People fear what they do not understand, Valerius replied. And your power frightens them. She looked up at him. What will happen now? We prepare for the possibility of war, but we also focus on you. He lowered his voice. Your magic is rising faster than I expected. The voice inside you grows stronger. So does the connection between our powers. Alara felt her heartbeat quicken. Why does it connect to yours? Valerius stepped closer, stopping only a breath away. Because our magic was meant to meet.
I feel it every time I stand near you.
You call my curse, and He paused, choosing his words carefully. I think I awakened something in you as well. Ilara's breath softened. She did not know how to describe it, but he was right. When he stood near, the fear inside her faded. Her magic no longer felt wild, and it felt steady. Suddenly, a pulse of pain shot through Valerius. He staggered, grabbing the edge of the table. Valerius! Ilara rushed to him. He clenched his jaw. Shadows crawled up his arms like smoke. His eyes darkened. The curse, it is breaking again. Ilara reached for him, placing her hands over his chest without thinking. A bright silver glow burst from her palms. Moonfire. Warm, soft, yet powerful. Valerius's eyes widened. Ilara, your magic, but the shadow surged higher, choking his strength. His body trembled. His voice dropped to a deep, rough tone. I am losing control. Ilara held on tighter. No, you are not alone. Moonfire flared around them. The walls shook. The air crackled with energy. Valerius gripped her arms, trying not to fall. Ilara, he breathed, let go. I do not want to harm you. You won't, she said. I trust you. Their magic collided, silver and shadow, and swirling together in blinding light. The curse inside him fought with all its strength, pushing back against Ilara's moonfire. She felt the pressure growing like a storm inside her chest. Then a huge burst of force shook the entire room. Ilara was thrown to the ground. Her ears rang. The lights flickered. When she stood up, the air was cold and quiet. Valerius? She whispered. Silence. Her heart raced. She scanned the room. But he was nowhere. Only his crown lay on the floor, split down the middle, cracked like broken crystal. Ilara's breath caught. No. No. She knelt beside the shattered crown, her hands trembling. The man who saved her, the king who protected her, the only one who saw her strength, was gone. And somewhere in the quiet darkness, the voice inside her whispered again, not soft this time, but urgent. Awaken, Moonfire Queen. Your fate begins now.